In this video, we will be looking at the 16 biggest flops, fails, and lost dreams of the past decade. From crashing ambitions to vanishing technologies, get ready for a wild ride full of ups, downs, and unexpected twists. Number 16. Steam Machines, the gaming console that couldn't compete. Steam Machines were Valve's attempt to bring PC gaming into the console world, offering a range of machines designed to run SteamOS, a Linux-based gaming operating system. The idea was to give gamers the flexibility of a PC with the convenience of a console. The reality? Steam Machines fell flat on their face. They were overpriced, underpowered, and had limited game support. Valve tried to bridge the gap between PC and console gaming, but ended up building a bridge to nowhere. Gamers quickly realized they could get a better gaming experience with a traditional PC or a well-established console like Xbox or PlayStation. Steam Machines became a relic, serving as a reminder that not every idea from a successful company translates into success. Number 15. Blackberry, from powerhouse to relic. Remember when Blackberry was the must-have gadget for anyone who was important? Yeah, me neither. It was once synonymous with business communication thanks to its iconic QWERTY keyboards. However, as touchscreen smartphones became the norm, Blackberry struggled to keep up. By the time they released a full touchscreen phone, it was too late. The restrictive operating system made it difficult for developers to create apps, leading to a decline in user interest. BlackBerry's market share plummeted from $20 billion in revenue in 2011 to just half of that within 2 years. Number 14. Faraday Future, a promising startup but rocky journey. Faraday Future aimed to challenge Tesla, but faced immense financial and organizational hurdles. Despite promising concepts, high employee turnover and a botched factory project in the desert severely impacted the company's trajectory. With executive turnover that would make your head spin and more financial problems than a broke gambler in Vegas, Faraday Future quickly went from Tesla's rival to Tesla's train wreck. Number 13. Microsoft Kin, a short-lived smartphone. The Microsoft Kin was a flop right from the start. Despite Microsoft's deep pockets, they somehow managed to create a phone that couldn't run apps, which is sort of a deal breaker for a smartphone. To make things worse, you needed a $30 a month data plan to use this glorified pager. Due to poor reception and high operating costs, the Kin was discontinued just 6 weeks after launch, marking one of Microsoft's most significant product failures. Number 12. Coolest Cooler, the Kickstarter that's not so cool. The Coolest Cooler was supposed to be the Swiss Army knife of coolers, complete with a blender, speakers, and a bottle opener. It was one of the Kickstarter's biggest hits, raising over $13 million. However, manufacturing and logistics problems plagued the project. The Coolest Cooler promised an all-in-one solution for outdoor enthusiasts, but issues with delivery and the ongoing trade war with China forced the company to close down, leaving backers disappointed and without their coolers. It's like promising a high-tech spaceship and delivering a cardboard box with wings drawn on it. Number 11. 3D TVs, the future that never was. Remember when 3D TVs were the next big thing? It turns out nobody wanted to sit at home wearing glasses that made them look like they were auditioning for the Matrix. Active shutter glasses were uncomfortable, expensive, and required charging. The limited content and lack of immersion made them less appealing than expected. The high cost of entry, including the glasses and 3D Blu-ray players, was not worth the underwhelming experience. It was like having a giant white elephant in your living room that cost you an arm and leg, and you couldn't even hang a picture on it. Number 10. Amazon Fire Phone, a fire sale in disguise. Amazon's Fire Phone was their attempt to break into the smartphone market, but it went down in flames. Pun intended. It tried to carve out a niche with its unique features like dynamic perspective and Firefly, but it missed crucial elements like Google Apps and a full Android experience. Customers found these omissions frustrating, and the idea of turning a smartphone into a mobile Amazon store didn't resonate. Despite Amazon's success in other hardware areas like Kindle, the Fire Phone failed to ignite interest. No wonder the Fire Phone burned out faster than a shooting star. Number 9. Google Glass. Cool idea, lacking practicality. Google Glass was supposed to be the wearable technology that changed everything. Instead, it changed nothing. It was like strapping a smartphone to your face and pretending it was cool. The user interface was so clunky that you'd need a manual just to check your email. And the voice recognition was more like voice misinterpretation. The best feature was the ability to take photos and videos from your perspective, but people didn't like feeling like they were being recorded by a cyborg. It's like Google tried to reinvent the wheel and ended up with a square block. Not to mention the privacy concerns. Who wants to talk to someone who might be recording you? No one. Ultimately, users found that smartwatches or smartphones could achieve most of what Google Glass aimed to do, but more efficiently and at a lower cost. Number 8. Windows Phone. Late to the smartphone party. Windows Phone was Microsoft's attempt to take on iOS and Android, but it felt like they showed up at the party after everyone had left. The operating system had a unique Metro design, but inconsistent hardware options, limited app support, and poor marketing led to its downfall. The few people who bought Windows phones probably thought it was a good idea, right up until they realized they couldn't get their favorite apps or even a decent phone case. Developers showed little interest in building apps for a platform with low demand, and consumers opted for more established alternatives. Eventually, Microsoft gave up on it, which is a little sad, but not at all surprising. Number 7. Theranos, the blood testing revolution that never was. Theranos promised revolutionary blood tests using its proprietary Edison machine, but it was all a lie. CEO Elizabeth Holmes misled investors and regulators with false claims about the technology's capabilities. Whistleblowers revealed that most of the tests were conducted using traditional equipment, not the Edison machine, and even those that used Edison often returned inaccurate results. The scandal led to criminal charges for Holmes and a complete collapse of the company. The only thing Theranos successfully tested was how many investors could be duped at once. Number 6. Samsung Galaxy Note 7. The phone that went up in flames. Samsung's Galaxy Note 7 became famous for all the wrong reasons. Instead of being known as a great phone, it became known as the phone that could burn your house down. The company attempted to replace the faulty units, but even the replacements faced similar issues. Ultimately, Samsung had to recall the Galaxy Note 7 worldwide, resulting in significant financial losses and reputational damage. Number 5. Google Nexus Q. The media player that didn't play nice. The Google Nexus Q was supposed to be the ultimate media player, but it turned out to be the ultimate paperweight. It was designed to connect to Google Play Music, YouTube, and Google Play Movies, but it cost an outrageous $299 for something you could do with a $35 Chromecast. Despite a sleek design, the device's high price and lack of essential features made it unattractive to consumers. Google eventually gave up and started giving away Nexus Q units for free because who in their right minds would pay for something that was essentially a high-tech doorstop? Number 4. Facebook Phone, a social media misadventure. Facebook thought they could make a phone that was all about, well, Facebook. The problem was that nobody wanted a phone dedicated to posting selfies and checking status updates. Ultimately, you could get everything the Facebook phone offered from a regular smartphone app without the weird sense that Zuckerberg was watching your every move. No wonder it disappeared faster than your high school photos after a breakup. Number 3. Youngblood, the fountain of youth, but without science. Youngblood transfusions sounded like something out of a vampire movie, and that's about as close to science as it got. The idea was to take blood from young people and pump it into old people. But the only thing that got pumped was a lot of money into this dubious scheme. Ambrosia, a startup that promised to rejuvenate the elderly with young blood, charged a whopping $8,000 per liter. It turns out, though, that science has yet to back up any claims that it actually works. If you're willing to risk your life for what amounts to a very expensive blood smoothie, then maybe you should stick with vitamin supplements and green juice. Number 2. Juicero, the juice machine that didn't squeeze. Juicero was supposed to be the tech-savvy way to get your daily dose of fresh juice. But when people realized you could squeeze the juice packs by hand, the $700 juicer became the most expensive kitchen ornament in history. It's like buying a luxury car, only to find out it doesn't have an engine. But hey, you could still push it down the street. Despite raising millions from investors, Juicero's innovation was more gimmick than game changer, proving that sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze. Number 1. Gopro Karma, the drone that crashed and burned. GoPro's Karma Drone was supposed to be the ultimate in aerial photography, but instead it became the ultimate aerial disaster. The drones had a tendency to lose power midair and crash to the ground. If you thought flying drones was risky, try flying one that has a death wish. The front-heavy design caused batteries to disconnect, turning your drone into an expensive, falling object. It was like they took a drone and said, how can we make this as unsafe as possible? GoPro eventually recalled the Karma and exited the drone business, leaving behind a trail of broken drones and shattered dreams. And that's a wrap on our list of the 16 biggest tech flops and failures. These stories show that even with the best ideas and massive budgets, things can go hilariously wrong.